Phil Hewlett from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A 15-year-old boy remains in critical condition after getting shot while riding in a car in Pasadena. 3 minutes later, police received reports of a 20-year-old man being shot not far from there. His condition is not known. It's unclear if the shootings are related. Police have identified the man they believe stabbed young Brianna Cupford to death as she worked alone in a furniture store in Hancock Park. A $250,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of 31-year-old Sean Laval Smith. Councilman Mike Bonin's job is safe for now. An effort to recall him has failed to collect enough signatures to qualify for the ballot. After invalid signatures were tossed, the effort ended up about 1,300 valid signatures short of triggering an election. Southland weather from KFI. Some fog to start and mostly sunny later. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. You can expect things to be about 10 degrees warmer on Thursday. Right now it's 52 in Santa Ana. San Clemente 55, Torrance 54, and in City Hills it's 51 degrees. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Phil Hewlett. In Sherman Oaks, there is a work zone from the 101 southbound from the 405 to the 172 right lanes. You're going to be shut down for road work. Expect slowing in that area. And in Carson, this is on the 110 southbound out to 405. Little fender bender there. That's how the lanes are on the right shoulder. You're seeing delays as you approach. Santa Clarita, there is a work zone 5 northbound from Magic Mountain Parkway to Hasley Canyon. 2 right lanes are going to be shut down for road work. KFI, the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Van.
The MLK Tapes is your next true crime podcast obsession. On April 4th, 1968, a lone gunman assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Memphis, Tennessee. At least, that's the official story. The MLK Tapes podcast explores recordings of eyewitness testimonies to reveal the real story of the plot to kill Dr. King.
James L. Ray was a pawn for the official story.
Listen to the MLK Tapes wherever you get your podcasts.
Having a great smile with straight teeth doesn't just feel good, it has real benefits, like more confidence at work and even improved swipe right potential. And you know what that means. And Bite makes it easy for everyone to get straighter teeth they've always wanted without even leaving home. Bite Invisible Teeth Aligners cost thousands less than traditional braces and are doctor directed. Order your at-home impression kit from EYTE.com and get started today. That's EYTE.com. Be happy, be confident, be you with Bite.
Better get some more cake from Pink Coffee. You know it's National Chocolate Cake Day next week, and I'm just practicing. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco. Number 5.
No Balls Tax Friday. You can win $1,500 cash playing your favorite slots with your reward card. 1 to 9 p.m.
Number 4.
Genuine. Ride February 4. Get your tickets today.
3.
Cozy Gift Giveaway. Get an iPad Green Comforter set when you earn 500 points on your reward card. The 24th and 25th.
And the number 2.
$500 drawing. You can win $500 cash playing table games with your reward card. Wednesday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
Big Game Blitz. Food, drinks, giveaways, and the big game on big screen interval room for a small price. Get tickets now.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good time.
KFI AM 640.
You just scratch out spelling. You don't strike me as a woman who's into scratching off with her coffee or donut every morning.
The Brian Conley Jr. Show. Weeknights at 6 on KFI. KFI live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Who can I turn to when nobody needs me? My heart wants to know, so I must go where destiny leads me. With no star to guide me, no one beside me. I'll go on my way, and after the day, the darkness will hide me. And maybe tomorrow, I'll find one after. I'll throw off my sorrow, face me or borrow my share of laughter. With you I could run to, with you on a new day.
Premier Networks presents Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We'll take your calls next hour with Steve Shippey as we talk about hauntings. Jump on. Maybe you could share a story or a question or two. ParanormalDay.com, 845 people shy now of 123,000 signed up members, and it's free to sign up. So just go to ParanormalDay.com. If you're over 60, ParanormalDay.com/team.
At ParanormalDay.com, you meet the most fantastic people.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm good to be here.
Yeah, I'm here to meet someone you understand me.
How so?
Well, I'm into UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, the paranormal, that kind of stuff. But can't seem to find anyone who gets it.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Tom. I gotta go.
Okay, guess that's not your cup of tea. You sure?
Very. Good luck with that.
I can't meet anyone when I'm out, and I really can't find a website for my unique interests. What does one to do?
Have you thought about ParanormalDate.com?
What? Who are you?
I'm a paranormal matchmaker, and it's ParanormalDate.com. It's a website for people looking for people like them. Stuff you like, remember?
Interesting. I'll give it a try.
Well, let's try this again.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hey, that's Deb. Your profile on ParanormalDay.com looks very interesting. So you really saw a UFO?
Well, yeah. It was so intense, but not as intense as meeting you.
You're an alien chasing flirt, but I kind of like it.
Wow, this ParanormalDate.com thing really works.
Maybe ParanormalDate.com is for you. People with an interest in things they hear on George's show find their match daily. So if you're looking for that special someone with an interest in UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, and of course, the paranormal, come to the dating site inspired by George Norrie. It's always free to search, and if you decide to upgrade to our amazing new features, use promo code GEORGE for a great discount. ParanormalDate.com. You are not alone.
Real people, real stories.
I had acute eczema. I have tried every cream and ointment that you can imagine. It was pretty miserable. So I started taking Carnivora, and at this point, I don't want to ever be without it.
Our little dog developed this lymph problem. The chemotherapy lasted for 6 months. He started developing more lymph nodes that were swelled up. So I thought I'd just try Carnivora. The lymph nodes started to go down, swelling did. Then I took him into the vet to have him checked out, and there was no signs at all inside.
My cat had issues that developed near the eye, so my veterinarian said, you know what, let's go ahead and remove the eye. I heard the carnivore advertising, so I said, you know what, I'm going to order this product. They did all the tests. I kid you not, this product saved his eye.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's CARNIVORA.com.
You've been lied to. Lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough, and since then I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 800-908-1616 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, get one of just 97 free books left. We even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 800-908-1616. That's 800-908-1616. 1-800-908-1616.
And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you along with Steve Shippey. Steve, one of our listeners sent me a story. You're going to love this. You ready? Unexplainable things happened in the Tacoma, Washington house where serial killer Ted Bundy grew up. So many things, in fact, that a contractor hired to remodel the home penciled biblical scriptures on the walls and brought in 2 pastors to bless the house. The contractor, Casey Klopson, said, "I'm not one to believe a lot of this stuff, but this house made me a believer." Gosh, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it certainly is. And there seems to be quite an increase of paranormal activity within the last couple of years, which is very interesting.
Indeed. Now, what do you think is happening? What is the other side as far as you're concerned? I mean, you've covered enough of these stories now to come up with your own conclusions.
You know, I definitely have several, different theories. And a lot of what the research shows us with paranormal investigation currently, I do believe a lot of that. I do believe that there is residual hauntings. I do believe, of course, there's intelligent hauntings, human spirit that are trapped here for whatever reason, haven't moved on. And I definitely believe that there is a much darker realm, an human side to hauntings.
Are hauntings all evil?
In my opinion, no. I don't necessarily believe that all hauntings are evil.
But those that are, they're pretty darn bad, aren't they?
Definitely. If something is true evil by definition, I mean, sometimes people will kind of generalize some of these things and they say, well, there's a really nasty spirit here, it breaks things, it trips us, it pushes us, can pull your hair, do things to purposely scare the daylights out of you. Now, that doesn't mean that it's evil per se or inhuman. People can be jerks in the afterlife, just like they are in real life, the type of person that they are. But something evil is a whole different animal, so to speak.
How often do you come across these kind of demonic forces when you do an investigation?
Well, if you would have asked me this about 5-10 years ago, I would have said it would probably be in the 5% category. And sometimes, authentically, without any shadow of a doubt, demonic, sometimes around 2% of these cases. Now I'm seeing more like 25%.
Huge increase.
Yeah, huge increase. Absolutely.
What's fueling it? What do you think?
Well, there's several different theories. I guess one theory that I kind of have, as of now, you kind of think, well, these demonic beings like to prey on people's weaknesses, of course. I mean, that's, something that we all know about that realm. And you think about people's mind states currently. You think about what the lockdowns have done and the isolation, the fear, the anxiety. Everyone's just kind of unsure right now what's happening, health with COVID, that type of thing, fear of all of that. There's a lot of unrest. There's financial issues, and I feel that, when things like this happen, it kind of opens the door, and on top of that, a lot of people, unfortunately, are dealing with these situations, with substance abuse and different things, and of course, that kind of weakens the spirit, and that's kind of another door that you can open in that sense. So I do believe that, kind of our current state is only heightening the paranormal realm.
Are you a believer in reincarnation, Steve?
I wouldn't say that I'm not. I'm open to the possibility. I've definitely seen some fascinating cases where children are being interviewed and they're just describing their past life and people that were in it, and sometimes even knowing different languages. I mean, I don't know how you explain that. It's remarkable. Is it possible? Certainly.
If it happens, how do you explain what happens to souls like Rawling, for example, Danny Rawling, the Gainesville killer?
Now, in relation to...
I mean, what happens if reincarnation is real? What happens to that soul? Does it get reincarnated, and does it become a serial killer again?
Definitely one would hope not. I would hope that there would be some kind of law, law of the universe that wouldn't allow something like that to take place. But then again, who knows the rules, so to speak. I mean, we all know that energy, as they say, it can't be created, nor can it be destroyed. So it really does make you wonder, where does that soul go? I mean, of course, different religions have certain beliefs that are cut and dry. Somebody passes, they immediately go to judgment, they immediately go where they're supposed to. But, there's many different religions that have many different theories. And, at the end of the day, it's great to have faith, no matter what, absolutely. But we don't know everything. We just simply do not have all the answers. And I guess that's, kind of where the term paranormal comes from. You know, we see things that we don't understand. Maybe there's a lot of different theories. I mean, there's some people out there that will tell you that anything paranormal is demonic, you know, based on the religious lens in which they look at it through, and that these spirits are just in fact tricking you, you know, because they have that vast intelligence, and they will make you think you're contacting Aunt Susie or Uncle Bob that passed away in the house, and maybe it's not at all. So there's a lot of different theories, you know, and certainly at different points you have to wonder and question who you may be contacting.
See, when you go to some of these haunted houses, do you ever think that you're going to bring these things back to your place?
Yes,
There's definitely a concern, you know, for that situation, and I would at least like to hope that everybody who does this always keeps that in mind, that is a possibility. But there's a lot of different things that you could do. I guess it depends on, you know, your faith system, your belief system, whether that be if you want to be into prayer, cleansing, going to a spiritual cleanser. And we all have our different ways. But at the end of the day, personally, I think all of it is helpful, but I think a lot of it's inside you, going into a home or a location, being spiritually strong, mentally strong, and I think that plays a huge part of it.
Do most of these hauntings revolve around somebody who has died, either in the house or somewhere tragically?
It does. I would have to say, in my opinion, from my personal years of doing this, it seems that more often than not, yes, that is the case. And then there's the other cases that are truly a mystery. You know, just a mystery. You know, you do the research on the house. Nobody's ever died there. In fact, sometimes it's a brand new home, you know, that a family built or had purchased from another family that was 4 or 5 years old. Nobody had ever passed. Nobody has any explanation for how and where this comes from. And of course, you know, the theory at that point is spiritual attachment to somebody who brought it home. Then you have to kind of do your diligence and ask, so, you know, the hard questions, you know, have you guys been messing around with the occult at all? Have you, you know, used the spirit board? Yeah, things of that nature. And sometimes they are very honest, and they tell you yes. And then you kind of figure out where maybe it came from. And then sometimes, you know, you believe wholeheartedly that they have no idea what you're talking about. They would never touch such a thing, and you just got to wonder.
Have you ever seen an apparition yourself, physically seen something?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What happened?
Well, I mean, there's, you know, many different accounts. I think, you know, the one that really stands out to me that I'll never forget. Well, yeah, it's hard to really forget any of them, but there was an instance once where I was actually, it's pretty recent, you know, so it's kind of more fresh in the mind, but I was staying at an Airbnb, and, you know, there was quite a feeling in this old house. Right when I walked in, I kind of thought, man, you know, this place seems to have something a little unusual about it, but, you know, not doing that today. I'm just, you know, staying here and I'm traveling, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. And about, you know, 2:30 in the morning, I heard something near the bed, and I kind of sat up a little bit, and I'm trying to think, what is that sound? And I realized that what I was hearing was there was a large armoire right there, and something was kind of playing with the handle, and I just kept hearing it dip. So I put the flashlight on my phone, and I'm looking around, and as soon as I do, I see it move just a little bit, and then it stops. So I'm staring at this, and I'm thinking, there's no logical explanation for this, but I'm not going to try to communicate. I don't really want to do that right now. I'm just going to try to go back to sleep, wake up, and get back on the highway. Well, about 30 minutes later, I heard something in the adjacent room, so this time I got up and I turned the corner, and what it looked like to me was kind of a very fast-moving, wavy form that seemed to kind of have its own light. Now, I would say it was transparent, but not completely, but it looked more like a partial apparition. And then it just literally shot across the room, and before it went to where the wall was, it just kind of vanished. And this room was pitch black, so it was kind of astounding to see something that was emitting its own light.
Until you moved into your house as a youngster, were you a believer in these things?
Well, I was so young at the time that I really didn't have a belief system. In any way, I guess you could say, when it comes to something like this.
Were you glad to get out of that house?
Yeah, absolutely, I definitely was. But it left me with a fascination to find out, what it was. It's very interesting when you're at that age and you see that your family, your parents specifically, are going out of their way to tell you that that's not possible. These things are real, and
you don't know what you're seeing or anything.
Right, and then when you see it crack, and you realize at one point, everyone comes to the table more or less, and now it's out in the open that they do believe. That really shifts your mind at that point, because you're like, okay, wait a minute, this, you told me this is something that couldn't happen, but now you're saying that it is. Now you're admitting that it's happening. So at that point, you kind of start to question everything. Your whole mind kind of opens up to, what you think is not necessarily what it is. And that just kind of led to a fascination for me.
Your co-host, Cindy Cahill, in the psychic media.
Yeah.
What does she say about these things? What does she think of it?
I really don't know her theory, to that sense. I mean, typically when I work with Cindy, we are running into the case and she's tuning in, whether it be through remote viewing, or, several of the tactics that she had, and she's tuning into the energy, who's here, why, what do they want, that type of thing. But I would be very interested to hear, her theory on the afterlife, I guess, in general.
I mean, there's definitely something happening. There's no question.
There's no doubt. Even after poll, they do it every year. And actually, the numbers actually increased. The most recent poll, and you typically hear this stuff around Halloween, where these large news broadcasts, they're always kind of putting something, I guess, Halloweenish, so to speak, in the media at that time, and they always poll adult Americans, who believes in ghosts, essentially. And the most recent poll was around 54% of the adult population. Now, explain that to me, 50% actually over, but half of the adults in the United States that took this poll believed in ghosts. How can you possibly say, what would you say, that was a mass hallucination? And then, in talking about spirits and ghosts, this goes back as far, as text exists. As far as man has written down their experiences, there's always talks of the spirit realm.
If you had an opportunity to interview Danny Rowling prior to his lethal injection, serious killer would be talking about, what would you answer?
I think, number one, I wouldn't allow him to deflect the blame of the things that he did. But I would definitely ask some very hard questions to him about this demon, as he called it, this spirit Gemini. I would want to know, can he describe this entity? What would this entity tell you? When did it first come into your life? When did you start having these urges? I would be wanting to know more from a paranormal standpoint, asking certain questions to really try to figure out, is this something that really came to him, or indirectly did he conjure something by literally manifesting and doing these evil deeds in the name of evil, which will certainly compensate.
Now, what do you think triggered him? I mean, what was he, about 36 years old when he started the killings?
Yeah, I think what triggered him was the things that took place in his past. I feel that, like, for instance, let's talk, about the voyeurism. Imagine, a kid's 12, 13 years old, and he's going around the neighborhood, and he's peeking in windows and watching people through their windows. Now, his ex-fiance had an explanation from Danny, so we're getting this information secondhand, but basically directly through her, that he was doing it in a sense because his family life was so bad and so terrible that he would go and just watch other families just living their life, watching the TV, eating dinner, trying to live vicariously, so to speak, to have some sense of that. But then somewhere down the road, perhaps as he grew older and you know, and different things take over, that voyeurism took a much darker path, which of course we know now is leading into how he's known to be the Gainesville Ripper.
Unbelievable case. Just how they created and made those. Something that psychologists, I guess, and psychiatrists just jump into, don't they?
There's no doubt that, you know, the research clearly shows, you know, and not always, once in a while there is just a shocking case where a serial killer is discovered and they can't really see, like, Jeffrey Dahmer is a good example. There was no abuse in that case, you know, his father, you know, couldn't understand where this came from. You know, he was never beaten as a child, but yet he was all a classic serial killer. Now, I think, you know, personally, the abuse that he suffered is mentally damaged, and beyond that, he was beat horribly, and even beat as an infant. So you got to wonder, could there have been some brain damage? You know,
That's true.
yes, perhaps frontal lobe damage or something that also completely changed his mind. And you got to wonder if that's, you know, a possibility.
Do you think it was that fight with his father in May of 1990 that triggered the murders later?
I definitely do. I think, you know, when he had gone as far as to go to that level of violence and then actually, you know, the murders in Shreveport, you know, he was believed to kill 3 people in Shreveport, Louisiana. At that point, I feel like for him, there was no turning back. I feel that typically when individuals like this, when they cross that line, they can't go back. You know, once they draw blood, it's just it's a compulsion, you know, that they can't stop.
Steve, we're going to take a break and come back and take an hour of phone calls with you next on Coast to Coast AM.
Find out more about tonight's guest. Log on to coasttocoastam.com. Fancy words I use. Trying to cat weekdays 2 to 6.
Sponsor your New Year's resolution to be more productive with the Before Breakfast podcast. In each bite-sized daily episode, time management and productivity expert Laura Vanderkam teaches you how to make the most of your time, both at work and at home. These are the practical suggestions you need to get more done with your day. Just as lifting weights keeps our bodies strong as we age, learning new skills is the mental equivalent of pumping iron. Listen to Before Breakfast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You chose the freedom of being your own boss. You're self-employed and you love it. Except when it comes to qualifying for a home loan. Rates are historically low and the Fed is talking about raising them. You want in now, but you can't qualify. Prime Choice Funding understands. With their suite of flexible choice loan products, they offer competitive rates and great service. They're ready to get you a great loan despite your out-of-box situation. Prime Choice Funding wants to help you. Use your business or personal bank statements to qualify. No tax returns needed. They offer programs for your situation. Are you self-employed or a real estate investor? Let Prime Choice Funding set you up for success. Get in on these incredibly low rates before you miss out. Call now. Call 866-246-4700. 866-246-4700. 866-246-4700 or visit mypcf.com.
Equal Housing Lender Corporation Registration. NMLS ID number 117375. All apply. California DFBI license number 603F471. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California financial law. Other restrictions apply.
By now, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines.
Long pants
They help keep your
and
immunity
jeans.
strong and help keep you and others protected
Long pants and
and
jeans.
its variants. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find out if you're eligible and to find a booster near you. Let's keep each other safer and healthier this winter.
Get your booster. And don't forget to get your flu shot, too. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
KFI now looks forward to the year ahead. Future predictions for the year 2022. Chemically treated face masks indicate by color change just how bad your breath is in there. And bees return. Like a lot of them. Too many bees. KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. It's time for your morning wake-up call. Here's Jennifer Jones-Leigh.
Well, good morning. Welcome to a Wednesday. Got a full show for you this morning. We're going to talk with ABC's Aaron Katursky. Did you sign up yet to get your COVID test? I went ahead and did it last night. You can get 4 per household. So one person goes online, COVID test, that's with plural, covidtest.gov. And all you do is put in your address and an email address. Put that in. And they're supposed to test to your door. Oh, but wait, there's more. We're hearing about free face masks as well from the White House. We're going to talk all about that with ABC's Aaron Katursky coming up in a few minutes.